Hey guys, you're watching one and only. My name is AJ, and we are back on another episode of Redstone From Scratch, the series where we're going through the very basics of Redstone, and we've slowly worked our way up to more and more complicated stuff, and now is the time where we're putting it to use. So, a hugely asked thing was for automatic farms. So I've got some fully automated farms for you, and when I say fully automated, I mean you will never have to touch them. They will automatically do everything for you. So the first one here is a sugarcane farm. Everybody needs paper for books, for enchanting and everything like that. Very important block now in the game. And since building it, I've already got nearly 2 stacks of sugarcane. So let's open it up and see how it works. If you wanted this visible, like if you were building this in your base and you wanted to see the sugarcane, you could always put glass blocks over it. But seeing as though it's fully automatic, you can just cover it up with wool or whatever block, cobblestone, whatever you have to hide it. But let's see this in action. If I grab a piece of sugarcane to make it grow, if a sugarcane grows, boop, the piston pushes it out, and then once the sugarcane goes down, it resets the piston. So then when another one grows, it pushes it out and resets it and pushes it out and will travel down. That's a long way for it to travel down. As you can see, it is moving down. It's sort of half glitched on the block this time. That's quite funny. But then once it gets down there, it'll reset and that piston will drop back again. And it's completely fine. Please do remember to place some blocks in front, even if it is glass. Otherwise, you will get some sugarcane come flying out, propelled out of the farm. But you might be thinking, how on earth does that work? How does it know when the sugarcane's grown? Well, it's all to do with bud switches, which we've done a few episodes back. If you haven't seen the episode, you can go and watch the bud switch episode. I'm not going to explain what exactly a bud switch does, but we are going to be using it for this build. So, this is the only redstone it requires. It is so simple, and I'll explain how it works while we build it. So, all I've got here is 8 blocks long, so I've just used white wool so it's nice and clean, and I've used 8 pieces of sand, because I think that's a nice size for now, with 1 water block source, just so you can put sugarcane on top of this sand. Okay? So that's step 1. Step 2, we're just going to place down a row of blocks on top of the water. We don't need to see it, and that also lets us place 8 pistons on top of this. This is so simple. It looks so complicated, but it's really, really not. Okay? So once we've got the 8 pistons, after the 8th piston, you're going to place another one facing upwards. Okay? And then you're going to place a piece of sand on top of that. Oh, you just saw it work then. And now what you're going to do is you're going to place a piston to the left of the sand. What did I say? Did I say a piston? I meant a furnace. I think I said piston. Place a furnace to the side. Now you can use pretty much anything, and I'll give you some other examples in a second. I'm choosing furnace for this tutorial just because it's the cheapest to make in survival. Obviously it only takes 8 cobblestone to make. But what you're going to do from here is do a little stairway. So you're going to place 1 block here, and then you're going to go up a block, and 1 to the side, and then 1 round here. Okay? You're going to place a comparator here, and then get a piece of redstone to go here and here, and then a repeater there. Now, how does this work? So what we're going to do is we're going to place some items inside of this furnace. Now, as you can see, if I place 1 item in this furnace, the comparator turns on. If we don't have any item in there, it's not on. But if we place just 1 item in there, it turns on, but it only has enough power to barely light up this piece of redstone here. If we want to light up this second piece, we need to put in a total of 14 items in here. So as you can see, let me turn my camera so you can see the redstone behind. You can see it up here, okay? So as soon as we get 14 pieces in, so there's 13, that's not enough, but 14 will then light up the repeater because that gives enough power to power both redstone dust here. Now, if you don't want to use a furnace, you could use a cauldron. Let's use a cauldron as an example here. You can put a cauldron here and fill it up with water, and that will also power it as well. Or you can use a brewing stand or anything like that. Obviously, the furnace is the cheapest, but we'll keep a cauldron for this one just to make it different. Then you're just going to place a line of any block you want on top. Again, I just use white wool because it's a nice clean block to show you, and you can see the redstone really, really easy. And just place a row of redstone on top of that. Now, if you're on PC version of Minecraft, that is all you have to do. Because if we now get a piece of sugarcane here, as you can see, if a sugarcane grows, it will automatically break it for you because it's like a giant multi-bud switch, if you like. But on Xbox and PlayStation, and I expect PlayStation Edition, for some reason it doesn't reset. This should automatically activate the bud switch, but it doesn't. So to fix this on Console Edition, it's really, really simple. What we're going to do first is get some hoppers and a chest, which is here. And basically we're going to do it so every time an item passes through the hopper, it'll activate the bud switch on the back. So where this piece of sand is, on this block here in front of the sand, you're going to place down a hopper, but make sure to click it on the side of the block in front, because that way, as you can see, the hopper is facing this way. Then you're going to place another hopper, again, make sure it's facing that way, and then place a chest. So now if we drop an item into this hopper, it'll end up in this chest, just like magic, okay? Now what we're going to do is you're going to dig out here, 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 and here. Okay, so like 4 blocks back, and you're going to place a comparator here. So now every time a block goes through this hopper, it gives a little tiny pulse. Did you see that? Little tiny pulse. And then you're going to come with a repeater next to it. That's very important. If you don't put a repeater, and you just put redstone dust, the comparator, like up above here, let me jump up. Fly, damn you! There you go. Like how up here, how it only powered this one and not this piece of redstone dust, unless we had enough items in it. You're never going to get enough items in this hopper to power all of the redstone. So if you put a repeater here, it'll give as much power as possible all the way through. So then you're going to go redstone, redstone, and then a repeater here. And then I'm going to change this block so you can see I put a piece of redstone on it. And then place a block here on top of the repeater with a piece of redstone. Then you're going to need your only sticky piston that's required for this build and place it right there. Okay? Because basically, this here, below this sand, below this piston, is a bud switch. If I place a block here, as you can see, the piston activates, and when I break it, it activates. Okay? Just by placing the block there, it's activating the piston. So, if we place the block here, every time an item goes through this hopper, it's going to activate this line, which fires the piston forward and then back, making the bud switch work to reset all of the pistons here. If I get another piece of sugar... Whoops, that's an egg, not sugarcane. If I place a piece of sugarcane there, okay, if we broke this redstone signal, it goes back. So by then dropping this sugarcane into the hopper, it then resets them all, okay? So that goes there. Then a water stream will take it down, stick it in there, and reset it, okay? And then the water stream is very, very simple. We're going to crouch click on top of that hopper so we can place a block on top. Place down a little trail of blocks in front. And then place, not lava, place some water down there. And then that just takes all of the items down into that one hopper. If you've got a lot of iron, I suppose you could put all hoppers down there. But if you're cheap like me, obviously use a water stream. Okay, and then the last step you're going to have to do is just block up all of this area, so then no sugarcane can jump out at you. I'm going to use glass on this one to show you that glass is fine. So it's now visible inside your base if you want to see it in action. Place some blocks along the top, and you're done. It's as simple as that. Let's get another sugarcane, and boop, goes through the water, into the hopper, and resets it. Okay? Absolutely wonderful. How are we doing for time? Okay, we're doing fine. I can probably get another one. So the next one here is a melon farm, and as you can see, it's working absolutely fine. I've got 3 examples here. I've got a piston that's straight on top of the melon that's grown. I've got a slab straight on top of the melon that's grown, and I've got a piece of glass. So depending on how you want this to look, you can pretty much use any block. But how this works is as soon as, I was hoping that it wasn't going to grow, because I didn't want to wait for them to grow again, but as soon as something grows here, bang! It squishes them all. They'll all go into the hoppers. Again, like any farm on Minecraft, and I've said this before, they're never 100% efficient. The sugarcane farm, obviously it could land on the sand, and if the sugarcane lands on the sand, it's not going to reset it, but as soon as the next one grows, it resets them all. So it's always going to be functioning. It's going to be You're never going to get it where all 8 pieces of sugarcane land on the sand. That's never going to happen, is it? And like here, as you can see, a couple of pieces of melon didn't quite go into one of the hoppers. But since setting this up, I've got a stack of melon, 25 pumpkins, or a stack and a half of melons, and nearly half a stack of pumpkins, just since setting up this tutorial. So it's really, really simple. And it's really simple how it works. Basically, we've got a torch and a repeater, and every time an item grows, as you can see, it lets the power go through it. And then once all of them are grown, it then just breaks them all. And then once the pistons come down, the redstone signal can no longer come through, so the pistons go back up. Boop! There you go. That's it, working in action. You saw it. You saw it naturally grow. And then this one actually requires a lot of hoppers to try and catch as many of the melons and pumpkins as possible. So I'm going to show you how to build this really, really quickly. If we can. I don't know how if we're going to be able to get the other ones in time or not. Yeah, we should be able to. We should be able to get them all in. So, let me just check. Did I have dirt at the first one? Yeah, we'll put dirt at the first one. So, we're going to place a piece of dirt here. Piece of dirt here. Piece of dirt here. Piece of dirt here. Now, you can make this as big as you want. But obviously, the longer you do it, the longer you'll need to wait for all of the items to grow for it to harvest them. So, it's up to you. It's up to you how you want to do it. Now, what we're going to do is... well, we'll place another piece of dirt. It's hard trying to get it in a tutorial way because I just build it usually. But water's going to be in here, okay? And these first pieces of dirt are going to be hoed because that's where you're going to plant your seed, which we'll do momentarily. Let's grab our hoppers. Hoppers? Like this. And where do we want the chest to be? We could have the chest right here, I think. And what we're going to do is you're going to crouch click all the way down the front first to get a line of hoppers going straight into that chest. Okay, so if you put anything in any one of these hoppers, it'll always end up in that chest. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come around here and then crouch click here, 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 here. So then you're basically given the game as much possible chance to land in the hoppers as we can, okay? Once you've got all the hoppers in, you can then not place your lava, place your water down, so it allows you to then hoe your dirt, like this, and then we'll just place the seeds in. But you can put either pumpkin or melon in here. Let's do all pumpkins for the moment, like that, and they'll eventually grow. Okay, now, this is where you need to crouch click. It's an important thing to do. You need to crouch click on top of these on top of the hoppers to put a repeater down on them. Okay, if you try and just normal click on them, you'll just look at the hopper, which is really annoying. So crouch click, and you'll be able to place them on it. And again, here, crouch, and place. And then after this last one, you're just going to crouch again, crouch click, and place a torch. And then that gives power to the first one. Oops. So now, every time a block grows... As you can see, it goes through. And it doesn't matter what order they grow in. So it can grow there, there. And then as soon as the last one grows, as you can see, the power is going all the way through it. Okay? So then after you've got this, we might as well put the pistons in here. If you use a block on top, like this glass or this slab, obviously they're going to need sticky pistons to pull it back up. But if you don't want anything on top, you can use regular pistons. For example, if you're short on slime, you can use normal ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a piston, let's do normal ones for now. Place a normal piston right, you little place underneath it. There we go. And now we're stuck. Damn it. There's no easy way to do that, is there? Maybe we should have done that first. And then we'll place back the hopper there. And then let's go along the top here. It's just never an easy way to place pistons, is there? They should be placed like logs. I've always wanted them to be like logs, so they place whatever face the block you place it on. If you know what I mean. I've got hiccups again. I apologise. Let's place this dirt back down. As far as I know, I don't know what blocks will allow melons to grow on. I know dirt does, which is why I'm using dirt. I don't think that if you had wool where this dirt is, I don't think the melons will ever grow on them. I might be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But on top of this, you're just going to place a line of redstone, which just activates the pistons whenever it goes across. Like if I gave it some power here, Doop. As you can see, all the pistons activate. And all we're doing here is basically squishing the items to break them. It's really quite funny. This would be amazing if you made it in real life. If you made a real melon crusher machine, I would love it. It would be great. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a similar sort of thing. No, we're not. We won't. You can do it a similar sort of thing if you want to the whole hopper comparator thing, as we've done on the sugarcane farm. But there's no real need to on this one, because we can just place an input here. And all we need to do is get this redstone dust from here up to here. And you can do it in any way you want. Over here, I've used slabs. So I've got the redstone, I've got the block actually one block up here. On the one that I've done here. So the repeater goes into the block, which powers the redstone. And then it goes up like a slab. But make sure these are the top halves of the slab. I'll show you how to do that quickly in case you're a little bit thrown by it. Yes, you can place redstone on slabs. I know a couple of you might not have known that. So you need to do there and there. Okay, and that's going to be the most like compact way, if you like, of doing it. But if you don't want to do that, if you haven't got the slabs or whatever, you can always just weave it up. It's a little bit more messy, but you could do it like that, and it would work. It would work fine. Let's go there, there, there. But as you can see, it is a lot bigger. It's a lot more cumbersome, but that will work absolutely fine if we place some melons here. Look. We go melon, 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 melon. Pow! Break them all. And for some reason, the first time that I build it, a lot of melons don't go in. But after the first time, it seems to catch more of them. I don't know if it's just strange. But it seems to catch more and more. But as you can see, already in this chest, 9. Boop. Melon. Whoops. Melon, melon, melon. Pow! I just love the whole squish. You can actually make this catch more, quite funnily enough, if you place blocks over this water stream. As strange as that sounds, if you place a block over that, it will actually catch more from my testing. Boop! See? That caught so many. So many we've got in here now. They're running through. 19. There we go. So up to 19. And the great thing about this is that because it's fully automatic, you never need to touch it. No maintenance is needed or anything. It's just leave it, let it go, and when you need some melon, you go and open the chest up. Easy as that. No day-night sensors. You could use day-night sensors to activate some farms, but then it only activates once, or possibly you can get it to activate twice every day, so when the sun comes up and when the sun goes down. But making it fully automatic like this is wonderful. There you go. Still growing. So the third one. How are we doing for time? Sorry about the cough. Okay, we're doing okay. The Cactus Farm, I'll show you that really quickly. This is really, really simple. I'm sure you've all done Cactus Farms in the past. This is just cactus growing. And because there's a block here, you can't actually place a cactus. Where's cactus? Cactus. You can't actually place a cactus on it, but it will actually grow. And as soon as it grows, it'll break because the block's there. And it'll break, it'll fall in the water, work its way down to the middle where I've got a hopper. And then I've just got a row of hoppers underneath the ground. As you can see, there's just a hopper there going into the chest. So we're up to 12. This is the last one that I set up. So I'm not going to have as many in there. But you can make these as big and as small as you want. You can put water designs in different ways to make it more efficient. This design here is probably the easiest to set up. There's just 4 water sources, one in each corner, and then the water just flows around it. I don't need to do a tutorial on that. The only trouble with this design is that there's this block here, and obviously the cactus does have the potential to land on it. When it grows, it might pop off and land on it, but it's not a very big chance that that's ever going to happen. So I wouldn't really worry about it too much. And you can multi-layer this as well. You could make this as high as you want and do that. So that's very, very simple. Cactus is extremely simple. The last one, however, is a combination of 2 things. On my Zonocraft Season 2 Let's Play... Oh, you just saw the cactus go then. Again, I would obviously recommend having this up higher so the cactus doesn't land on that. But you saw the cactus jump off then. But yeah, in my Zonocraft Let's Play world, I used to have this machine that used to have 2 dispensers, one on each side, and then you would hold down the button and it would make wheat automatically for you. That's broken now because it takes more than 1 bone meal to make a an item grow. If we use a piece of wheat, for example, let's plant some seeds here and get some bone meal. If we bone meal it once, it doesn't grow all the way, and it can take, I think, anything up to 4 bone meal. It usually takes between 2 or 3, though, on average from my testing, at least, to grow to full. So that Zonocraft one no longer works. So instead, I've modified it using the Zono clock that we made last episode. I still haven't seen anything that is exactly like this design, so I'm still claiming it as my own useless clock. It's a little bit more complicated than a basic clock, but I really do like it. So I've just got a furnace here with any item in it at all, just to make the comparator say yes, there's an item in it. At the moment it's turned off, which is why it's saying no. But basically what this does is if I flick this switch, as you can hear, this dispenser is ticking, and it's got bone meal in it, but it's clever. The dispenser is clever enough to know not to dispense out the bone meal. If we put blocks in there, it would dispense out the blocks every tick. But because it's bone meal, it says, no, there's nothing there for me to grow, so what's the point of dispensing it? But if I put down a piece of wheat, there we go. There we go. And you can just stand here and then break it when it grows and replace it. Now, unfortunately, this isn't technically fully automatic, but it is as close as we can get. Let me turn it off. It's as close as we can get on console edition at the moment. The only way that wheat can become fully automatic is by villagers, and that'll be coming in a future update. If you don't know what that is, basically farmer villagers can actually harvest and plant crops. So they'll break the corn, or break the wheat, not corn. They'll break the wheat. It'll go into like an imaginary inventory of theirs. They'll replant the seeds down, and then they'll put all of the wheat in a chest. So you can make them fully automatic. But currently we can't. This is as close as we can really get. But it's really cool because you don't actually waste bone meal. It doesn't chuck bone meal everywhere that you have to collect up and put back in the dispenser afterwards. It'll only fire it when there's seeds in front of it to grow. It's so cool. There's 2 ways, obviously, like the Zono clock that I done about last episode. There's 2 ways to turn it off. Either you can turn it off via the lever here that I've got, or if we break the lever there, you can turn it off by taking the item out of the furnace. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. But I like having the lever there just because it's a little bit simpler if you're building it in survival. The other interesting part is that the dispenser actually makes a different noise when it's actually dispensing bone meal. Can you hear that? It makes a different noise. It's actually making the noise as if it was empty right now. This is the empty dispenser noise, and this is the full dispenser noise. So, pretty cool. I think it's really, really cool. Again, just like the last Zono clock, we don't actually, or Z clock, I don't know what to call it. I like Z clock. Like the last Z clock, we don't need to use a furnace necessarily. You could use anything. We could do the same as what we done with the sugarcane farm, and use a cauldron. Whoops. And use a cauldron full of water here. And use a cauldron... Oh, because it's on. And use a cauldron full of water. And that would work. Or a brewing stand. Or a chest with an item in it. Anything like that. But, again, I repeat, furnace is the cheapest. Which is the only reason why I'm using it in this instance. Any block will do in the top. Boop. Wonderful. Okay, so yeah, that's as close as we can get to an automatic wheat farm, but sugarcane, melons, pumpkins, and cactus are now 100% fully automatic. I don't think that there's really anything else that we could grow. I've probably missed some things. Mushrooms are really easy. We can do that on a future one, but that doesn't really require redstone that much. If you want me to do a mushroom one, I can. Same as... I don't know if we can do flowers yet until a future update. We might be able to make an automatic flower farm. I'll have to look into it. I'll do some testing. Nether wart is an easy one. I'm sure you could change some of these designs and adapt them to work with nether wart, but it's not all that popular, which is why I didn't cover it. But apart from that, it's covered pretty much everything. It's still working. How much are we up to now? Before I end the episode off. Over 2 stacks of sugarcane. Anyway, guys. Oh, very important. Before we go, something I have forgotten to say is make sure there's light. Okay, so in the sugarcane, I place two torches, one on each end, because if there's no light, the crops can't grow. Okay, so that's very important to make sure that it's lit up inside. The same as here, as you can see, I've placed the torches behind where the repeaters are. So here, here, and here. Because it's daytime, they were growing anyway. But if you lock them in, like how I had this locked in, my voice is going. If you lock them in how I had them completely sealed off like this, they will not grow without light. Very, very important, okay? Anyway, guys, we're going to leave it there. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. It really does help me out. It fired again? I love watching it work. Until then, we are going to leave it there. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We shall see you in the next episode.